Hey guys, so previously I've done a video where I talked about how to write a thousand worded essay in 1 hour. And so that segues into this particular video where I'm talking about writing 3 essays in 3 hours. So if you haven't watched that video, then I'll pop it up in the card up above. I would recommend that you go watch that first before you watch this, because pretty much all of the concepts that I talk about in that video are just expected details that you should know for this video. So instead of actually breaking down the essays as I did in the previous video, what I'm going to do this time is talk more so about, how to actually write 3 essays in 3 hours and just not get burnt out and not die, basically. Yeah. It's that serious. So I've got a few tips for you guys, but I'll keep this short. First thing is that yes, you do want to practice at least one time writing 3 essays in 3 hours. And the reason why I say that is because inevitably there will come times where one essay will kind of overlap into another hour, and you just want to ensure that you know how to handle those situations. When we're practicing in 1 hour blocks, I think it's fantastic to make sure that we can do that. But then kind of like 3 hours and 3 essays is another ball game altogether. So I would recommend at least practicing once, sitting down somewhere and just smashing out the 3 hours worth of work, just so that you know exactly what it's going to feel like when you go into the exam. Now, most schools will actually offer a mock exam for you to do. So that literally could be your one practice that you just need. But if you were like me, you might want to do it twice. So in your own time, kind of print off your own exam paper and go ahead and just set aside 3 hours and just do it that way. The second thing is I heavily emphasize doing reading time. So reading time is pretty much your mental thinking game going strong. And this is where a lot of your pre-work will be done before you actually go into the essays themselves. So make sure you practice reading time. It's 15 minutes before the actual exam, but in that 15 minutes you can plan 3 of your essays, and you can look up in your dictionary any keywords that you might want to define, or you could even look up the dictionary and try to find synonyms for particular keywords. So what I mean by that is when you open up a dictionary and you look up that word inside the dictionary, often the definition for it will have synonyms for it. So that's like my little hack that I had when I was at school. And then the last thing I would say is just make sure you know what to do if you go over time. So like I mentioned before, there may be situations where, worst case scenario, you don't finish your essay in time, and that could be because of many reasons. But first thing for you to remember is if you're running over time, sacrifice your conclusion first. Do not sacrifice your third body paragraph. I think mostly what happens is students will kind of be somewhere in their third body paragraph for that essay, but rather than skipping that and just doing a little bit of a mess to finish it up and then going to your conclusion, finish off your third body paragraph and then just forget about the conclusion. The reason why I say that is because a conclusion is basically just a summary of what your entire essay is about. It's not really supposed to be there to add in any new information. Whereas with your third body paragraph, you're still explaining your ideas, you're still elaborating and discussing the prompt itself. So that is way more important to get you the marks that you need than a conclusion. The next thing I would do if you're running behind is save your proofreading until very last. So in the last video, I talked about doing proofreading in the last 5 minutes of every essay. But if you do not have time for that, leave all your proofreading until the very end, and you might find that you only have 5 minutes to proofread all of your essays, but at least you kind of have that reassurance that you made yourself more time to write beforehand. And so if you literally find yourself writing right up until the last minute and you can't proofread, fine, sacrifice that too. Now the last thing is, let's just say that you have sacrificed your conclusion and you're still writing your third body paragraph right up until the very last minute. You still have at least half the paragraph to go, but you know, the first hour is over and you need to move on to your second essay. I feel like you can either approach this two ways. The first way is just finish it off, but then move on to the next one as quick as possible. And obviously your hope there is that you will finish the second essay in time within that hour, so that by the time you get to your third essay, you are on track again, right? But then the other alternative that you could do, and probably one that I veer towards a little bit more, is just stop your third paragraph. Like, okay, you still have maybe 5 more sentences you want to write, but just move on to your next one. I think that's kind of important, because what happens is once we start running into the next hour, you will find that with your first essay, you'll run maybe 5 minutes into your second hour. But then you might find that you run 10 minutes into the third hour with your second essay, leaving only 50 minutes to finish your third essay. And that might not be like what you want, and you might know that you just won't be able to achieve that because the third essay is maybe the hardest one that you left to last, and that's the one that usually takes you the longest. So yeah, like these are just thoughts and considerations for you guys to take away with. Whatever you guys do, I think just be strategic. Think about these things beforehand, because they are things that could trip you up when you are in the exam, you're stressed, you're anxious, you're under time pressure, and you just need to get things done. It might kind of make you do like bad decisions, or you might do something out of the ordinary that you normally wouldn't do. But if you think about these things beforehand and think about, okay, this is what I'm going to do if this situation occurs, then at least you can kind of have some control over what's happening, and that gives you a little bit of reassurance. That is it from me. I wanted to let you guys know that because we are approaching the end of year, and I know that you guys might not need English help from me very shortly, especially if you're in 12, I wanted to let you guys know that I do have a personal YouTube channel as well. So that's just linked up above for you, and also in the description box below. If you're interested in following me there, then go ahead and subscribe. I would really love to see you guys there, and just be able to still have the connection with you guys. You know, it'd be nice to not only just have you guys on board with me for a year and then you guys kind of disappear and do your own thing. I'd still really love to stay in contact and be able to hear how you guys are going too once you finish school. So I will see you guys next time. Bye.